Hey friends, and welcome back to Vibes N Delites. My name is Fernie, aka Friend the Human.
And I'm Slappa.
What's happening today, Slappa?
Tired today.
I am tired too, man. The Red Wars. So that's why I'm tired. Why are you tired, baby?
Just been sick.
Oh, Slappa's got the ick. I had it too. I didn't have it. I don't know. I feel like I took more mucus relief than he did. So he's unfortunately still dealing with it.
It's almost over. It's another week of vibes and delight, and it's another week of chaos in America.
Yeah, a little concerned about leaving my house once again. I can't even imagine though. Tell us about the college campuses.
Palestinian groups across American colleges started just setting up encampments in the public areas of the campuses. Just hanging out, sleeping in a tent, peacefully protesting, just being in the way in people's faces saying, stop this genocide, right? They don't like that. They don't like when you just exist in an area that you're allowed to exist and you pay to go to college there. So they've been fighting them and threatening them. And finally, last night or the night before, they raided a couple camps. What was it? One of them took over a mess hall and they sent the SWAT team full riot gear, like 50 plus cops, militarized tank SUV with a ladder on it, busted open the windows because, they busted a window when they got into that mess hall. So we have to pay 50 cops overtime, use all this equipment, and break even more windows to stop them from breaking that window. Brown University actually agreed to divest from Israel with their students. So it's working. And around the world, other colleges, other students, and universities are starting to join in. And it seems like the more the government institutions fight back against this, the worse it looks for them. I mean, it's literally just a mirror of all the Vietnam protests.
Mm,
May 4th is coming up. That's the anniversary of Kent State, where Vietnam protesters on a college campus were killed by the National Guard. It seems like they're trying to escalate the same way. All the conservative right wing people are saying the same things they were saying back then. These kids need to get what's coming to them. How dare you protest anything? Go learn something.
what the hell?
Yeah, it's
Make up your mind. Do you want me to learn something at my liberal college, or do you want me to fucking
they
be a
want
member
them.
of
No,
society?
they want them to go there and get STEM degrees so they can work for the military.
Does not compute. I don't understand. You said something about at one like the cops left.
Oh yeah, there's so many going on. I can't remember names of them anymore. But at one, the cops just kind of left, stopped keeping an eye on this peaceful protest, and Israeli supporters showed up and fought them and shot fireworks at them and threw things at them. And the cops didn't come back for a few hours. Um, and the way that the protesters handled it was great because they were peaceful, even when being attacked like that. So it just continues to backfire.
That sounds like a setup, bro.
Maybe.
That
I
sounds like a
mean,
fucking setup.
yeah, they kind of just no cops in the area that cops have been
Yeah.
in 24/7 for the past few days, you know.
Yeah, that sounds like a setup. And then
But that's the kind of thing that they do.
yeah,
They don't have any new strategies, they don't have any new tricks up their sleeve.
I
They're going to
know.
continue to do the same things that they've done in America to stop progressive movements.
And then I kind of wonder if maybe they just didn't fight back because that's what essentially the people of Palestine have been doing this whole time. I know that you had heard that they fighting on the streets. You know what I'm saying? I know that you heard but like ultimately they what they've been doing is nothing compared to what's been laid against them. So like to me it's like they've been doing nothing, like in the sense of they can't, because they don't have a military. They don't have weapons of mass destruction, whatever they're calling them these days, you know what I'm saying? But like they've just essentially just been just taking it on the chin. And like so don't misquote me on that, but I'm just saying I bet you that's part of the reason why they're not fighting back, because unfortunately that's what Palestinians have been having to do. And then I also wonder, like, um, are people not fighting back in the sense of, like, um, when your sister tried to kick me and I was telling my story, um, people were like, she would have been in the ground, bro. You know what I'm saying? But I was saying that I was playing my cards. I was trying to play the long game so that there would be nothing. They would have nothing. She attacked me for no reason. And I didn't have and I didn't react to her because I didn't want them to flip the script and be like, "Ooh, white woman tears on me." You know what I'm saying? Now people are seeing that it's only the Israeli supporters. It's only them. It's only the police. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not
Unfortunately, that's not what people are going to see. People are going to
right.
see there was a fight between protesters and Israeli supporters. Like, it's never going to be the peaceful protesters were being peaceful and were attacked by the cops or
But
agitators.
people are actually
I,
but people are absolutely confused. Like one of my mutuals, the Reverends, Ollie was saying, he asked, he has been asking, and he's like well versed in like religion study, whatever that shit's called. Anyway, but like, he was asking, I would like to know what the actual definition of Zionism is, because all I hear are different. First of all, I'm getting different definitions. Some people say that it's the right to some land. Some people say it's called being home. Some people say this is their homeland. You know what I'm saying? And then like other people are like, what is anti-Zionism? Nobody knows what this is, and all these people are giving us different definitions on what they think it is, and no one can agree. And people are collectively starting to get confused. Like, I've been seeing more and more people talking about, and maybe that's my algorithm, you know what I'm saying? But I've been seeing more and more people being like, so what is Zionism? What is being an anti-Semite then? Because like I'm not understanding, you're not understanding. This dude is also Jewish but doesn't agree with you. So what's going on here? So people are starting to see that there's something amiss, you know what I mean? And then now we're all seeing these Palestinians just getting absolutely decimated. And who's cheering and who's crying? Who were the ones, like, remember that one lady who was like, we're praising, we love hearing the bombs, we're hearing the bombs, but we're probably going to evacuate because that shit's scary. You know what I'm saying? What are people doing now? The cops left and the Israeli supporters came and beat on the Palestinian supporters. I just wish people would fucking see it for what it fucking is. I don't I don't know why people just can't trust what's going on.
it's purposeful. Like, they don't want people to have any clarity on it, um, unless you purposefully sit down and take time. Like, if you're someone who knows nothing about this and you're just looking at the news or TikTok feeds, you're gonna be just like that. You're gonna not like really be clear. Like, so wait, is it a war, or are these people just being bombed to death?
Right.
Because all the big media is calling it the Israel Gaza war. They're saying Israel is taking out Hamas,
Right.
but if you're actually objectively looking at it,
Right.
where's Hamas?
Right. That's what they're saying on the big news, but if you're actually watching, it's just the people.
I gotta hand it to George Bush, the painter, the scholar, our Texas born and bred ex president, when he ran a fake war for resources and land, he gave something to the people. He gave him a mission accomplished. We got him. This is why we were here, and we did it. Look at this. We got the guns. They had weapons of mass destruction. You know.
I was wondering where that came from. Cause shit.
But like, Israel is just straight up like, we got to get Hamas, guys. We got to get Hamas. The last time I saw any propaganda from Israel to show that they're getting Hamas, it was them touring a hospital and showing a
Oh
bag
yeah,
and a laptop and 2 rifles.
yeah,
That's the last and they showed the hospital nurses' schedule.
yeah.
Say,
I
look at all
remember
these
that.
Hamas signing their names. It's their shifts that they're taking for terrorism. If you are actually a real military, actually going for military targets and succeeding in any way, you will have evidence of your success and you will show it to let people know you're winning this war and to demoralize your enemy. There's none of that happening. There's no trials, there's nothing. They're just killing people straight up because they have no evidence. It's all made up, it's all bullshit. They just want that land, and there's plenty of evidence that that's why they're doing it. They say it themselves.
Yeah,
It
like
comes
I
out of
was about to
their
say, like
their
they
leaders'
what
mouths.
was it, the Freudian slip? Is that what it's called when they do that? They say what they actually mean and then they lie.
I mean,
Like they
their PR
are.
people are doing that because
Yeah.
it's hard to lie that hard.
That
Even for
hard.
professionals that go on TV to spread their lies, they mess up because it's a lot of lies.
It's a lot.
But their own politicians, their leaders, say out loud the quiet part that they're supposed to keep quiet. They say, we're going to take this land. They have like pre-sales of Gazan land.
Right.
They have posters and flyers saying,
Right.
come buy your settlement land.
Right. And hell, they did it with the fucking TikTok ban. Like I about a year ago, I just saw like in my memories, like on this day, it said that a politician went on the news or was giving some sort of whatever address, and was like, people spend like so many hours a day on TikTok. We wouldn't you love to see that for big TV media? They said that like on
Yeah,
live TV. They said that they would rather Americans be watching the TV instead of being on TikTok.
why aren't you watching what
Right.
we
Why
lie
aren't
to you
you
about?
why aren't you watching my ads? That's what I heard.
It really is.
But I knew then. I was like, no, hold on. He said that, and I don't think people are paying enough attention to what the fuck he just said.
I mean, people never pay enough attention. Recently, some guy was like, pro-Palestinian content on TikTok gets 10 times the views that all our major news networks get. And they were complaining about that.
Get it. Right.
Like, maybe
don't work for a piece of shit.
Report different.
Right, maybe don't work for a piece of shit publication
Right,
that
like,
doesn't let you talk about shit.
We don't want to hear, like, the sugar-coated bullshit
Right.
y'all are selling.
Right.
We don't. We have real footage of what's happening. We don't want to see the footage and go look into it more and hear you lie about what the fuck I just saw with my own eyes.
Right. Like,
why would we watch that?
people have been boo-boo to fool for so long. They're playing in all our faces. It's like impossible not to feel played. And like I feel played in multiple aspects of my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you don't feel some type of way about everything in total, like you must be like just completely out of touch with the normal people, because the rent is too high, groceries is too fucking high, gas is too fucking high, I'm not getting paid enough. You know what I'm saying? People think they can talk to me any sort of way. People do not want to do People are so stuck in their own lives that they can't even see the person right next to them. You know what I'm saying? This world is burning, and people are starting to finally notice, hey, that's a thick ass column of smoke right there. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like people are noticing there's bullshit.
I wonder, like, are they noticing or have they always known and just had zero thoughts of ever changing anything?
Mm.
But now people are trying to change things and it's kind of working. They're not being just shut down completely. Like,
Like they saw one college campus do it, and then another, and then they all fell in line right
another
after
one.
another one. You
But
you remember that dude's like a
yeah, he's DJ Khaled, the worst Palestinian.
no, he's Palestinian.
Yes.
He's Palestinian.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my
Mm.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What? Okay, guys, context. I was watching Hot Ones because I just love that little interviewer. He's so fucking cute, and he be knowing his people, bro. Unlike fucking Club Shay Shay. Anyway, DJ Khaled. I watched that episode because everybody said it was the worst one, and it was it was not
He gave
good.
up after like two
Yeah, he gave up after
spices.
three.
Two,
I think it was three wings,
three wings.
and then he was just like, "Have you ever taken a loss before?" And he was like, "I ain't never taken no losses,
All I
but
do is win.
all I do is win." And he fucking quit the thing, and then he kept telling him that it's inappropriate for him to eat these hot sauces, and saying that, there's kids that watch this, like, it's just fucking hot sauce, bro. Like, and back then they were like the kind you get on the shelf, like that you can get at any regular. There was Cholula, right? There was Cholula, I'm pretty sure, on there. So, but anyway, that's why I brought up the DJ Khaled thing, but I didn't know he was Palestinian. What the fuck? What the fuck? That shit is crazy. Oh man. Anyway.
Speaking of getting played right in your face, apparently that's what our story today is about.
Oh yeah, the plot twist on this one was wild. And I'm sorry guys, this is also going to be another one episode. This one has like several updates, and I know we're going to talk about it. This one had a plot twist. I didn't get to read exactly what it was, but I just know it did not go where thought it was going to go. So, all right, so let's grab our vibes and delights. All right, so this story is called My 24 Female Boyfriend, 27 Male, has disappeared every weekend for the past 3 years. And I just found out he's been lying to me about where he goes.
Nah. 3 years? You are a hopeless romantic.
Aww,
You have to
be. That's messed up.
Because you weren't
every
suspicious
weekend?
at all for the first year?
Like,
The second year?
right.
Now it's 3 years. Okay. I don't want to talk too much because I'm sure they're going to let us know why.
My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 24 female, have been together for 3 years. We don't live together, but are close enough to spend a lot of time together. However, it is very rare for us to spend a whole day together. When we have, it's been a weekday where our schedules have just happened to line up, i.e., no work and no class. We have just, we have never spent a day. We have never spent a day on the weekend together.
In 3 years.
In
Not
3
one
years.
full day.
Okay.
Okay.
He works as a research assistant while getting his PhD. Every single weekend for the 3 years that we've been together, he insists he has work. I realize how stupid I've been now, but I foolishly trusted him. I trusted that he had to work every single weekend for 3 years. That was until today. I was going to say, like, some people work on the weekend. Like, my best friend works on Saturdays. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to work on Saturdays, but he does, So it's very possible. Just, I've been studying for finals, and it's the toughest it's ever been. So I was craving some time with him. Just a day where we could kick back and relax with each other. Of course, he says he can't because he's working, and I shut up about it. So today I'm getting antsy anyway and hoping we could at least spend an evening together. And I end up texting him asking when he thinks he'll be back and can we spend the night. We've done this plenty of times before and he always responds fairly quick. This time I'm waiting for a while. After 2 hours, I decide to text a work friend of his who's also a research assistant with him. Wouldn't you know it? It turns out they don't have work today.
That's crazy.
In fact, he informs me in that same text that they rarely ever have to work on the weekends. Rarely ever.
It's all coming together now.
So now I'm sitting here wondering what the fuck is going on. I have no idea how to confront him about this. I mean, this has been going on for 3 years. If he's cheating on me, he basically has a second family at this point. Right?
I think you're the second family at this point.
Oh my god! I'm so use the mistress, use the other woman.
He's trying to start a second family with you.
But obviously, that is where my mind goes, and I have no clue what else it could possibly be. Like, is there any possible explanation for this besides cheating? Right.
Is there? I don't know.
Like, I don't know.
This is definitely a betrayal of trust of some kind.
Of some kind.
And 3 years of it, this is, if he's not cheating, it's worse than cheating, whatever it is. Like, why?
Oh, man. How in the world do I confront him about something he's been doing for 3 years?
As soon as possible. That's how.
Since he's doing whatever it is tomorrow, do I just drive over to his place in the morning and wait and then follow him? Has anybody ever had anything happen to them like this before?
I don't know. For 3 years, I've heard this story with less time passed. But
yeah. Man, I that's crazy, but also like follow him though. That shit was funny. This person suggested, why don't you just text him, right? So I would just ask him first, hey, I texted your work friend while I was waiting for you to reply, and he said you never work on the weekends. So even if he's not cheating, he's lying. Don't stalk him. Don't play games. The OP, understandably nervous, stated, but what's stopping him from just lying? Like, even if I confront him, he could just insist he's just working or come up with an excuse. The only proof I have is the text from his coworker. I feel that might not be enough to get him to tell me the truth. I don't know.
Yeah, he's gonna lie to you. Stalk his ass. And record it. Put it on TikTok.
Oh my gosh. And then the next update was 1 week later.
So I logged into this account for the first time since making my original post and find that there are a lot of messages. I haven't read them all, but I will. The recent ones all ask for an update, so here it is. When I logged off, things seemed to be pretty split on what I should do. Most people just decided to call him a cheater or say that I'm the side chick. Frankly, I wasn't sure I could wait another day to confront him. So I confronted him the night of that post. No games or stalking or anything.
Good job.
Anyway, I texted him telling him to come over when his work was done, and he did. I waited about 5 minutes, if that, for him to settle in before telling him that we needed to talk about something important. He immediately responded with, uh-oh, which was a bit demeaning, but that sarcastic response honestly matches his personality. Uh-oh. I tell him everything that happened, how hurt I was, and how I didn't feel like I could trust him about anything, considering he's been doing this for 3 years, and then I asked if he had anything to say. He told me he wasn't cheating on me or anything like that. He was just embarrassed about what he'd been doing. I asked him what he could possibly be so embarrassed about as to hide it and lie to me about it for 3 years. He takes like a minute to compose himself and then mutters something. He clearly feels guilty, but I obviously don't hear it, so I asked him what he said, because I didn't hear it.
Right.
He tells me that he volunteers at a homeless shelter every weekend since coming here for his PhD.
What?
Volunteering at a homeless shelter?
Well,
That's what he's ashamed of. Okay. I swear to you, whatever emotions are coming across here were multiplied 10 times in the moment. I could not comprehend what he was saying. Like he was embarrassed for volunteering at a homeless shelter. It didn't and still doesn't make any sense.
No, yeah, like, okay. I'm like trying to put myself in the OP's shoes, and I'm just like, oh, I keep coming back to like the same face. So if my face is doing that, can you imagine what the OP was doing? Like, like I can't even.
So I asked him what he meant, and he repeated that he volunteers at a homeless shelter for 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday every weekend. Of course, I asked him why he would be embarrassed about that, and he asked if we could talk more about this tomorrow, and he could instead show me that he isn't lying by taking me to volunteer. I don't know what I was really thinking. I think my mind was just blank, so I agreed with a sure and asked him to leave. He apologized for the whole thing and left, and then sent a text that he'd pick me up in the morning so he can prove to me that he's not lying.
All right, let's
Okay.
go.
Of course, my mind races all night, and I tossed and turned, but Sunday came, and he wasn't lying.
What the fuck?
He takes me to a homeless shelter, soup kitchen place. I don't really know the difference.
Mm.
Isn't a homeless shelter where people sleep and a kitchen is just a food making place?
Well, whenever we used to volunteer at my job, we a kitchen had like it was also like it was like a food pantry and a kitchen, and there was it wasn't a shelter. It was
Right.
like yeah. So I think it is two different things.
And we make food, clean, and pack daily necessities for 6 hours. It clearly isn't the place to have the conversation. I would have been asking everyone around there, like,
Right.
how long have you known my boyfriend?
But yeah, I definitely would have been fucking asking like, do you know this man? How
Like,
often you see this man?
who runs this place?
Who this? Who that
How
man?
you know him?
What? How long he been coming here?
Right, you're here every week because you're in charge of this.
Right.
Who's this?
Who this?
Right.
Who this? Like I would have been asking hella questions.
I spend most of my time doing the work and chatting with other people, and they were really nice, but of course the whole thing was still weighing on my mind the entire time. So I start asking them about my boyfriend.
Just read ahead.
And they confirm that he's been working there as long as they remember and is there every weekend. He's
What
been
the
there
fuck?
longer than most of them, it seems.
Oh my fucking
This
god.
is so strange.
That is crazy. What do you mean longer than most of them?
I mean, if he's been doing it for 3 years, that's a long time to consistently volunteer.
Is it
Anywhere.
probation?
Ooh.
Because like how'd they do that? Like whenever you did probation work, what was that like?
I mean, you would just go to a place and do community service.
And doing stuff like that is community service, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
So you might be right.
But is that like does probation last so long? 3 years?
Yeah.
And they said longer? Or they said longer than them, so who knows how long they've been doing it, right?
Finally, our volunteering ends and we head back to his car and I try to start the conversation. But he shuts me down and asks me to wait until we get back to his place. This is so, like, their communication style is so off to me. I don't know. Like,
I mean, this whole situation is just mad bizarre.
it really is. Like you're not going to talk in the car?
I'm still way back on he was volunteering.
And he was ashamed of
like,
it.
yeah, like why are you ashamed of that? Like, are you doing it because you have to atone for something? Like, what did you do in your past? Like, are you on probation? Like,
All
I
right,
got
hold on.
fucking questions, bro. All right.
We're going to do it. We're going to read the story and it's going to answer the questions. We can do this. Let's keep going. I say fine. Maybe I'm being a doormat here. Maybe. But I was just so confused and lost.
Right,
Okay.
like maybe go along with it. Maybe they'll fucking
Maybe
explain
let
it.
the story happen.
Right.
And we head to his apartment. Once there, the talking began. He asks if I believe that he's telling the truth about working at the homeless shelter every weekend, and I say that I do, since I confirmed it with a lot of people there.
But also, like, why are you asking me if I believe you?
Yeah,
Why do you want me
that's
to trust you
so.
so
Do you
bad?
believe it?
I choose the bear.
That's-
I
a
choose
bear would never be
a
ashamed of
bear
working at the
would
homeless
never.
shelter for 3 years.
Smokey the bear told us how to put out forest
He
fires.
was very public with his social interests, okay? I also said that I don't understand the lying, especially for as long as he did. He apologizes again and asked if I really want to know why he kept it a secret. I say, "Of
Yes.
course. Duh." And he sighs and tells me that he doesn't like people knowing that he likes helping people. Obviously, I'm going, "What the fuck?" Because this is so weird, and I ask him to explain. He tells me that when he was an undergrad student, he would always try to help his class behind the scenes by discussing problems they had or negotiating for curves or extensions on their assignments, even when he didn't need it. He said he enjoyed doing it and kept doing it as a master's student, but then started to do so before and after classes publicly. Apparently, most of his classmates were still happy with him, but a few basically hated him for it because he was babying them or something. So he went back to doing things behind the scenes and no longer tries to associate himself with any of the things he does to help others.
Oh, I get it, but
I don't get it.
maybe seek therapy for that, because I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they say that you stop growing when you're like 25. Your frontal lobe like finally completely develops. While all of this is happening, like all of these formative years, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly worried that I'm going to fuck up our children, you know what I'm saying? But I constantly forget how the world is going to fuck my child up, you know what I'm saying? And on the one hand, I'm hyper aware, but on the other hand, I don't think I really acknowledge that much. And so, like, for that to happen during a really like vulnerable time in his growth and his youth and his education, all that stuff, something really big and important in his life, for that to happen, I bet you it did shape him weirdly, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean, I'm just saying, like, maybe he did grow a little differently, maybe he does view things a little differently.
Hopefully, I'm not the only one who finds this so dang weird.
Yes, no, that shit's mad weird, but like, I get it, but damn, that's weird. Like, on the surface, it's just bizarre. It's like that is a fitting word for this situation. It's just, bizarre is a bizarre word, and this is a bizarre situation.
The homeless shelter stuff and assisting your classmates aren't remotely the same. I say as such, and he tells me it does the same thing. It helps people,
Yeah.
so he doesn't like people to know about it because then they might misinterpret his intent and think he's masquerading as a good person.
Oh, like how they did with the librarian. Remember that librarian?
Yeah,
Like, people,
Michael.
yeah, Michael the librarian, thank you so much for that. Like, people were like, I don't know, I sense dark energy because people be like that. And then you see how that one single comment caught fire, you feel me? And then it bled all into his personal life. That's probably what he was afraid of.
I don't. That's entirely different. That's like a big social media account. You have thousands of people seeing you do these things. Of course, some people are going to be haters and try to start some drama.
Okay, but
But
they are
he's a
not.
random guy
Right.
at a homeless shelter.
No, you're missing it. Like, I'm saying that when he was in school,
Okay.
the people treated him like they treated Michael. They made him out to be a martyr.
Mm,
They made him out to be a bad guy
mm.
for being helpful and nice and enjoying helping people and being nice. So they told him he looked stupid for that. And I'm saying, just like that one single tweet caught all that fire, that's what people stick to. And so he stuck to that because that's what people were saying about him. And so he retreated back within himself. That's what I'm saying, honey. Like, it's not the homeless shelter, it happened before then.
Okay, I get it. Then he assures me that he's not a good person at all, but he still wants to do what he can for people, so this is what he does.
I was with ya, and now I'm not. like I'm trying, bro.
So I ask if he really thinks I would get mad that he's helping homeless people in his free time. He tells me he wasn't sure at first, especially since I wanted to spend weekends together. We were first going out. So you could have been spending all these weekends together. Duh, every couple does. So he just lied to hide it at first, but he knows I wouldn't do that now, but kept the lie going because he thought it would be too weird to suddenly say that he's volunteering at a homeless shelter.
Zero communication. Just like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, just zero communication. Still, like, the whole situation is still like odd, you know?
This is a very book smart person.
Right.
I feel like I've come to the conclusion that he's just really, really weird. His way of thinking has always been odd, but this in particular is just so weird. Like, he seems to understand the situation where I'm coming from, but didn't think to tell me the truth on his own. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, like that alone
Right.
is just a big, big problem in the foundation of your relationship. Like, weird.
We started going in circles, so I ended the conversation and had him drive me home in silence. Drive in silence again? I don't know. It seems like they're just not, they don't work together well. Since then, he sent a number of texts and has tried to call me a few times. I didn't pick up on Monday or Tuesday because I felt like I needed time to think. But I picked up today and we had a talk in which we both reiterated what we had said. I know a lot of people, literally all of them at this time, were telling me to break up with him, but I'm still thinking things through. I'm gonna try and get him to hang out this weekend and make my decision after that. I think some more. This thing has been so weird. I'm sorry that I've repeated that so much, but my brain is still rather scrambled.
I'm I don't know, man. If you, to me, it's over. You don't rattle me this hard and come back from it. I don't think. Like she comes to Reddit. It's bizarre. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. He's giving a lot of weird red flags. The bear would never. And then like I'm just saying like you don't even feel good. You can't even think
Like,
straight.
this is mentally stressing you now.
Like this, and it's in the middle of like a really tough time for you school wise, you know what I'm saying? Like in the story. But like I'm just like, if it's too hard, it's too much work, it's not worth it. I'm sorry. But like if you're this frazzled and you can't even like talk to him, and it seems like y'all stall out, y'all don't live together, y'all don't spend any great amounts of time together, it doesn't sound like y'all know each other like at all well enough, y'all don't even know each other well enough to share secrets and insecurities with each other. Like, what are you even doing here? Anyway, we continue. All right, so the OP wrote another update. So I asked him to come over so we could talk, and he did. And then I asked him some questions people had on here that I had written down. Did he ever find out about this post, I wonder? Volunteering for 6 hours but still not having time for me. He said that he would get there a little early and leave late, but would then spend the remaining hours running errands and actually working on PhD assistant stuff. I asked if he could give me details. He gave me some details about academic articles that I don't remember. I asked why he couldn't spend more weekend evenings with me if this was the case. He said that he was really busy with work and that I would distract him. Ouch. Out of all the things said, I think this is the one that bothers me the most, and it should, because you're clearly an afterthought to him.
Right, like he's so focused on his PhD and volunteering in secret instead of putting you above any of that.
Right. And he didn't have to.
Right. I think maybe he was keeping it secret because he knew he would choose volunteering and everything else over her, and that would ruin the relationship.
Mm.
So he was
Maybe
like,
he like knew that he wouldn't choose her.
he knew
Period.
he would not give it up at all.
Yeah, like he wouldn't change his course
He
to
wouldn't give her
for
any
her.
of his free time.
Yeah.
He wouldn't make her a first choice ever.
Yeah.
And she would know that if he let her know what was happening.
Yeah. Damn, that's so messed up though. So he was literally there for convenience sake and a quickie every once in a while. That's so fucked up. I asked if the volunteering was court ordered. Shit. He laughed at that and was clearly confused by the question, even though why else would you fucking do that without, you know what, that's not fair, but okay, okay. He answered the question that given the special population he works with doing his PhD, he doubts he'd be able to work with them if he had a record that required so many hours. I'm not sure I understood.
I think he's laughing at, like, you think I have a record or something.
I think maybe it was more so like I would, if I had felonies, I couldn't do the things that I'm doing
Hmm.
with my PhD right now.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It makes sense, I guess.
I asked if he was ever going to tell me about the volunteering, and he initially says he doesn't know. That means no. Then replies he probably wouldn't have. Damn. All right. He apologized for lying, but then said that whether he was working or volunteering doesn't make a difference on how much time he spent with me. Obviously, I pushed back on this, and he got defensive, and we had an argument that basically reiterated how I felt like I couldn't trust him because he was lying about this while he kept apologizing for the lying and making me feel that way. Okay. But that it wouldn't have changed how we spend time together.
Yeah, he would not have given her any more free time that he was already giving her.
If he wanted to, he would. Ultimately, I asked him to explain to me again why he hid it in the first place. Like he said previously, he used to talk to professors during undergrad about extensions and questions others had behind closed doors, and then make sure those things were stated to the rest of the class. He did the same thing in his master's program. This is where I got lost before. One of his professors was a hard ass, and some of his classmates were scared to talk to him about their grades. So he thought he could show them that he was willing to discuss grades, and he made a joke about his own grade in class. The professor didn't find it funny and went on a tirade about respect and showing him up, and apparently the class ended shortly thereafter because it was so tense. Showing him up. He said that some of the, oh, maybe like, oh, you think you're so good because you're helping your classmates, like maybe that, like, I've heard about you, you help your classmates. Interesting. He said that some of the other students felt like they needed to cut ties with him to show the professor that they weren't in on the joke, and that a few of them made a show of hating him from that point forward. Okay, so he was definitely bullied, like I was thinking in the first place. And if your professor was verbally abusing you, damn, like, I get it, you know. Hearing it more in depth at least makes this make a little more sense to me. I get it. I know your brain's kind of rattled. I stated again that helping homeless and helping classmates seem like entirely different things altogether. I don't agree with that. Maybe this is why he wasn't telling you. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Not really, but like, he said that they felt like the same to him, but that I was probably right and he was wrong. But I don't think it isn't. It still scratches that same I get to help people itch that you have. So I don't see it as different. In fact, I'd say that you, like when you were helping your classmates, that was the beginning. Like you were like, hey, that feels kind of good, you know. And then you got out in the real world. Some people teach, some people volunteer, some people protest. You know what I'm saying? Some people get that itch where it feels like they're doing good, and it's all the same. It's just the same itch. So I don't know. Anyway, I asked him why he said he's a bad person, and he replied asking if he said that, and I said yes. He said that he didn't want the volunteering to make him seem like a good person because he's not. What did you do? I asked what he meant, and he replied that I know him. What do you know, OP?
I don't think she knows shit about this guy.
Oh, man. I bet you're so right. I bet you he really thought that she did know. But how would he, how would she have known if you never told her? And oh my gosh, just that's twisted. I said, I don't, you do, etc. circles. Personally, I think he has low self esteem, but this is a weird way to express it, and I'm not sure what else it could be. I told him I wasn't sure I wanted to continue the relationship because of the lying. He seemed hurt by that and just said, okay, and that it's my decision.
Mm-mm. He does not care.
Yeah, I don't think he cares. But I do think he is upset that he got dumped, though. But
Well,
I don't
yeah,
think,
but I don't think he's not going to fight
yeah,
for it.
like he's not going to be like, or I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Neither of these people are readable at this point because he's giving like manipulative vibes, but like I understand where he's coming from.
I
So
don't.
like what why but he doesn't need to. So why is he the bear? Anyway, the bear.
Like,
Anyway.
okay, helping people is the same, but being like pointed out as like a brown noser or something in college is entirely different from people knowing you volunteer for the homeless.
But when you're helping people in a public space, that's different than like college people. There's like a herd mentality, like, oh, that person doesn't like that person is like,
And
yeah,
they're
yeah,
competing
yeah,
to be
yeah,
like
yeah,
the best student or whatever
right.
weird mentality have people have
Mm-hmm.
in
And probably
college.
trying to look good in front of that hard
Right.
ass, you know what I'm saying? But it still is the same to me because he still likes helping people. But in regular society, this like high school, college hierarchy, like mean girl bullshit, I know it exists, but it is not at the scale that it exists. You know what I mean? Like at a homeless shelter, people mostly think that shit's cool in regular society. Most people think that's pretty cool. People who don't think it's cool or like actively go out of their way to make you feel like you're not cool, those people are absolute shitbags, or they're just like, what do they call? Or they think they're edgy. Those people think they're fucking edgy. So like I don't know. I think he's got it twisted. He thinks college and high school life is the same as real life to me. That's but like it's still in the same realm to me. So I told him that he should at least get therapy for the classmate thing because it's clearly affected him negatively. He replied that he probably should, but he won't. Damn. After that, I gave him an ultimatum: either spend more time with me on weekends and go to therapy or we break up. And I told him to think about it and that he still has until Saturday. He said he would and he went on his way. Y'all should just fucking
Just
break
just
up at this
that was
point.
that was a great time to end it and move on.
Right. Clean break. Clean break.
All right, another update. Like 5 days later. This will probably be my last post here. Famous last words.
Mm.
Saturday came and he asked me to compromise. He would take a day off from volunteering if I volunteered with him the other day, and he wouldn't have to go to therapy. I said I needed to think about it. I told him later that night that I'd accept the compromise if he was willing to go to one therapy session.
I do like that they're at least trying to compromise, but I don't know. It just seems like they're so reluctant to give each other any
Right.
leeway.
Like
So,
he does
like,
not want to give her any more time than he has to.
right, like that's what I was just saying is like people won't even get out of their own asses long enough to see the next person next to them. You know what I mean? So like,
On Sunday morning,
how dare you?
he told me he wouldn't be willing to go to therapy and
Mm.
asked that we go out to dinner. Say no. Say you gave the ultimatum. You went for a
Right. You
compromise.
picked up your
He
boundary.
said, "Fuck your compromise. I'm never going to therapy.
No therapy.
I want to be weird about being nice to people for the rest of my life." We went to a local diner and basically talked about ending things. He apologized for ending things this way and said that he knew he wasn't exactly being reasonable, but he's doing what he feels like he needs to do. We wished each other the best. He gave me a parting hug, and I went on my way. So, yeah, 3 years of commitment for this. Kind of sucks. Have a good day.
Also, maybe y'all just wanted to eat. Like, like I don't think. What was y'all break? What did y'all need to discuss? Like, did y'all have shit? I guess maybe they had shit at her his
Probably.
but they never slept over.
Well, they never spent a full weekend together. I'm sure he
It
came in.
sounds like they was just fucking and
Yeah,
running,
it
bro.
sounds
Like
like it's
I don't think she was
friends with
brushing her
benefits,
teeth.
situationship kind of thing.
I didn't
And
have my fucking toothbrush over at my situationships. Like, what the fuck?
well, you have commitment issues, so
It did take you 3 times, so I guess you did ask me 3 times. Oh my gosh, there's another update. Famous last words and. All right, all right. So it's April 4th, 2024. That was recent. So this went from December to April. All right, so I'm pretty intoxicated while writing this. So let me just first say I'm so sorry for my incomprehensibleness. Is that even a word? Yes, friend. Yes, let's just go with it.
it works.
It works. It helps. Anyway, if you don't remember who I am, child. Anyway, I've been keeping myself busy with school and stuff, but some casual stuff every once in a while has been stress relief. What isn't good stress relief was a text message I received today. I should have blocked
You
him.
should have blocked him.
You just like your. I should have blocked him, but I didn't. So here we are. I didn't respond to him, but here's the message verbatim. Hello, I'm sorry for contacting you. I am sorry for how I acted. After you left, I really gave a lot of things some thought. I didn't want therapy because I didn't need a professional to tell me that I'm different or weird or diagnose me with something that jeopardizes my profession. Ah, I see. And I especially didn't want them to try and change me. I bit the bullet in January. I was diagnosed with schizotypal personality disorder. You can look it up, I guess. I'm not seeing the therapist frequently, especially after he suggested altering some of my behaviors and told me that I'm coping using my volunteering. Sorry, I'm just saying that you were right and I wasn't being fair to you. Please don't feel burdened to respond. I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy. I am. Maybe that's part of that. I'm not well versed on it, so I don't want to be like rude about it. But that definitely was not very nice to me, anyway. He hopes I'm happy. Okay, I was trying to be so nice. I was trying to be so nice. Okay, he hopes I'm happy. I mean, really, after everything, he acts like some sort of victim. I hate it so much. Every single time I've thought of him since I broke up, I just get more angry. I guess it's nice to know that I wasn't imagining things and there is something actually wrong with him. But did he have to contact me? Gross. This OP is funny. I think she said she was Swifty. So anyway, I love it. You funny. Anyway, I was just huffing and drinking and spotted my login details still on my laptop and figured an update wouldn't be too hard. Hope you guys know how to pick them better than me. the
Yeah, that was definitely a twisty tale.
Right. I was expecting something a lot worse than what we got though.
That makes sense though. Like I guess it's like a variant of schizophrenia or something.
Oh, how old was he too? I think he was 27
Oh
too.
yeah, he was late 20s.
Damn.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Ooh.
That's why he was so paranoid about people knowing he was doing things because he had a whole.
and he didn't want to go to therapy because um if
Yeah.
he's like in the medical field in some way, shape, or form, I bet you those people know each other, talk to each other, and like,
Well, I mean, like a generic symptom
well, they're
of
not supposed to, but
schizophrenia is being untrusting of like everything, especially
oh,
doctors,
oh,
therapists.
but he's becoming a doctor, but we don't know what a doctor and what. So, wow, he's really worried about his future profession getting affected by this diagnosis. And bro, damn, what a fucking ride. Like I'm upset for the OP though. I will say that because I'm just as confused and bewildered and annoyed. Like I am annoyed for you, man.
I mean, that's an awful waste of 3 years to end like that.
Yeah.
But lesson learned.
Yeah, and at least
Take
like
these red flags, no matter how little they are. Like
right.
that's like nothing to be lying about, but he was for 3 years.
The bear. But also like it's just so shocking. Like she didn't even catch anything. You know what I mean? Like most people within the first year, you said, I want to hang out on the weekends. Like I wanted to spend all of my time with you. Like contrary to my behaviors, I wanted to spend all my time with you always. Like on the weekend, I wanted to spend the night with you. I wanted you by my side. I wanted you to hold my hand and give me hugs and shit all the time. You know what I mean? So like for you to never spend a full week, a couple days, a one day, one weekend, like I couldn't even no. I don't think I would have. I'm a very demanding woman.
I saw a story. Someone was like, "This girl ghosted me after 4 dates. What do I do?" And the 4 dates were spread out over 3 months. Like, I don't know. So I know some people like to move real slow, but if you're dating someone and it takes you 3 months to go on 4 dates,
Right.
y'all aren't into each other that much.
Right. I was just thinking like, in that book, um I'm sorry. This book really like made me start thinking about relationships differently, whether that be in a good way or a bad way, I don't know, but it stuck with me. The end like a lady think like a man. There was like he was talking about the 90-day you know, the 90-day woman, and I don't give a shit about that. What I'm saying is that in the first 90 days is when you usually can tell when if somebody gives a fuck about you, if you vibe together, like if you want to be together, if you want to spend all your time together, if you're willing to do all this mess for 90 days, like regardless of whatever bullshit he was talking about, like that part at least made sense in the first few months. If you don't want to even be with around me, I don't want to be with you. How many 4 dates in 3 months?
Yep.
Shh, you might as well not even call me, honey. Don't call me. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. Like that was definitely a ride I was not expecting, like in the slightest. I was not expecting volunteer.
Yeah, I was expecting he had a whole other like
Yeah,
situation happening on like regular weekdays, and he could only escape sometime on the weekends.
right. To know that he was like undiagnosed with something that was a direct like result. You know what I'm saying? Like that was crazy. Anyway, good for him though, but also like I feel bad for him still. But I don't know. I don't think those people need to be dating anytime soon. Anyway, all right, guys. We'll catch you guys later. Once again, we're gonna kind of do a little bit of a shorter episode, and hopefully I'll adjust to this 6 o'clock schedule. I don't like it at all. And I'm going to edit after this too. I'm like, I'm just tired. But anywho, I love you guys so, so very much. Just know that yo bitch is making good money moves at work, even though she's tired. But I'm funding my dream. Anyway, all right, guys, we love you.
Bye.